Temporary, our main character found work as an Uber Eats driver. He rings the doorbell when he gets at the house as usual. But the girl who emerges appears to be a total threat to society. She is the kind to trip and fall and carry on as though nothing had happened. Because those rockets are lethal, our boy is shaking with terror as he stammers through his sentence, and the female is large in more ways than one. You already know her shoulders and back are wailing to cling to something this enormous. Sweating still, he gives her her order. Our child bolted out of there as she gave him a frightening look as like she was trying to get revenge. Apparently, dude lives in a ghost town because he's the only delivery guy in here. So he climbed onto his bike while panting profusely in hopes of switching with another. He so turned to anime heroines, which are a real cure-all throughout his toughest moments. Playing Minecraft is Fueri-chan, his favorite VTuber. Because he can identify to her bashful demeanor, our protagonist really likes her. He finds inner tranquility in her company, and she is equally happy. Then she is asked in her talk whether there is anything in life she wishes to conquer. She said that since she spends so much time online, she wants to conquer her social anxiety in real life. She hasn't actually spoken to anyone, hence her ideal would be to be able to converse with someone just like any other human being. Then all of a sudden our boy's phone rings and the terrifying big milker girl is phoning him once more. So he got back on his bike and headed back to her flat while playing some inspirational films. Just stood there waiting for him when he arrived. Though our lad believes it's all over and he's going to log out of this world, he puts on his big boy trousers, gets really tough, pushes his chest out, and confronts his worries like a real alpha male. When she begins speaking, our boy is astounded by the voice that sounds exactly like Fueri-chan. She even called him back to thank him. That this dreadful gigantic woman is our boy's favorite idol startled him. Since it has been so long since she has spoken to someone in person, Fueri-chan is relieved to be able to express her gratitude to him appropriately after the delivery. She is eager to devour all of this food and is so hungry that she needs to start feasting even if she respects that grind set. As it happens, her 5-meal-a-day bulking diet has left her with a huge appetite in addition to her enormous milkers and figure. Next day, our protagonist shows up at her door once more. As we still don't know our boy's name, I'll just call him Itsuki for the time being. She's back, staring at him like he just ran it down mid-rank-up game, going 0-20 when the door opens. Though Itsuki still finds herself wondering if she is Fueri-chan. She suddenly drew very near to him, and he shits his pants thinking she hates him. He's only using his diluted abilities to reassure himself that she's Fueri-chan. He bolts, but she catches his hand. Her hold alone can break his arm like a Lego minifigure. Then, when she addresses him as Oniai-san, Itsuki understands that, because he took his medication today, he isn't seeing and hearing voices in his head this time, and that this is undoubtedly Fueri-chan. She claims that since she has terrible social skills, she has been making all of her grocery and other purchases online. But she was buzzing inside when she saw him and his bright smile, and she is quite appreciative of how quickly and skillfully he delivers her orders. Itsuki at last understands that Oniai-san was merely doing her hardest to talk to him and wasn't upset with him or anything. Then she says that she was motivated to work just as hard when she saw how hard he was working. So she plucked up the confidence to ask our boy to be her discussion partner. She even offered to pay him for it. So our lad consented, but only because she was pressuring him to. Fueri-chan muses over how, the next time they meet, she will talk to Itsuki more after their exchange. Even better, she intends to tell him how hot it is outside and extend an invitation for a cup of tea. She was ecstatic as she had just figured out how to communicate with people and had all the script ready for when the moment came. She had already forgotten every conversation, though, when our boy got here the following day. When she takes out a ton of cash, our son freaks out and wonders what all the money is for. Then she asks him how much it will cost her to have a conversation. Our kid feels that it's just improper for her to pay him only to converse with him. But Itsuki's face plummeted since she was trying to buy him like he's some kind of sex worker. As such, he declared it to be impossible. He told her it's not about the money, which left her rather perplexed given this is his largest theft. He was unable to communicate his emotions to her, so he simply stood there looking like he had just shat himself. Fueri-chan apologized to him as she slowly shut the door, clearly depressed. Itsuki began watching Fueri-chan's feeds as soon as he came home, but for some reason he continued to have this unease. Talking with Fueri-chan, she says she feels less energetic than she did yesterday. Then she starts crying and says she must have offended someone because she messed up recently. Itsuki's inner simp personality kicks in and tells her right away that her awkward manner is so cute after she apologizes for worrying her viewers. And somehow, our boy's still having trouble connecting the dots and realizing that the fearsome person he met is actually Fueri-chan. His third leg developed and overtook his brain when he heard her sobbing out of the blue and promptly sent 10,000 yen over Super Chat to cheer her up. Okay, at last Nanashi, the name of our protagonist, is revealed. When Nanashi gets at her flat the following morning, she begs him to leave the food at the door this time. But our youngster suddenly develops a brain and understands that he is in a very lucky position getting to interact with a woman that I would never be able to be in. He tells her he didn't think it was proper to take her money, but he would want to help her and will do it for free. Hearing this, she swings the door open fast. He replies no, he doesn't want the money. When she asks him again, since what his eyes are witnessing cannot be measured in any kind of money. Flush. She wonders if he's genuinely cool with chatting to her. Nanashi declares he will talk to her and begins to tighten every muscle in his body while fighting against all the voices in his head to keep eye contact. Joyful tears spring to Fueri-chan's eyes, and she quickly extends an invitation for him to join her in eating. After giving it some more thought, her home might be the final place he visits before he meets his maker. Our lad decides that this is well worth the risk and enters straight away. He begins to perspire profusely, thinking that this would be the ideal moment in those movies where the guy has a baseball bat cave in his head from behind. Suddenly Fueri-chan tripped and falls on him, and her knockers so nearly crushed him that his imagination nearly came true. She apologized after staring him in a frightening way. Then, reaching out his hand, he discovers, beneath some boxes, a piece of paper and wonders about it. Furious, Fueri-chan stops him from touching the paper, completely crushing him and sending our boy unconscious. She apologized for falling on him and got the food ready and arranged on the table. Remarkably full, Nanashi wonders if he saw the script. She clarified that those were her scripts and that she had briefly done voice acting. Our son became quite enthused and now knows why her voice is so lovely. She downplays herself and says that someone like her shouldn't be working in such kind of environment. But all of a sudden she becomes depressed and tells him she has no talent for it. People would always say things behind her back about how scary and big she is, yet so timid. Knowing that he too had been teased by his peers for being little, Nanashi felt a great deal of sympathy for her and told her he loved her voice. Fueri-chan got stunned hearing this, and Nanashi explains that whenever life gets tough, he would always pull up Fueri-chan's stream to lift up his spirit and his wood, and when he hears her voice for the first time he felt the same. He further compliments her voice on how it's a bit high-pitched, and it's really cute. It's a voice he wants to hear in hard times, and he thinks that it's quite admirable. He finished his glazing session, and he realized that he might have gotten a little too fired up and started yapping for too long, but when he looks at Fueri-chan's face, she's blushing really hard, and since she hasn't communicated with a human in real life for a long time, she didn't know what expression to make, so she made an awkward kind of face. Our boy got real confused, so she whips out her phone and starts using it then. Nanashi gets a notification saying that he has received a huge tip. It was a massive tip, the biggest tip he has ever received in one go. He then yells at her, telling her that she don't have to pay him money, But Fuwari-chan was blessed with the infinite money glitch, so she made up an excuse that it's simply a reward for the delivery service. Our boy is freaking out because those bowling balls are about to smack him and give him a concussion after a hard cleaning session. It wasn't coming off. She tells him to take off his clothes and they will go in the bath together and she will wash him. She says that he has helped her so much that she has to return the favor somehow, else she will feel really bad while all this is happening. She spills her drink all over Nanashi. She apologizes and quickly ran in to clean him up. Fuwari-chan pauses herself, believing that a large person like her would obstruct the shower and result in more mess. Fuwari-chan was about to go heat up the water for him when Nanashi stopped her and asked if she might want a friend. She explained that someday she would like to go outside and talk to other people. Our boy took the initiative and invited her to go out with him. Fuwari-chan was completely shocked, starts sweating, and just imagining herself in the middle of the crowd absolutely terrifies her, so she relentlessly shook her head. Nanashi tells her that's not the kind he was referring to. Rather, he's referring to a late-night stroll to a convenience store or something similar. They can work things out from there. He also assures her that he will always be there for her. She muses over it for a while before saying she gets it and will go out with him. Our lad grinned and announced that he was heading out for the day. Fuwari-chan got lost and thought he was there to stay the night, so she brought him a bed. As Nanashi waved goodbye and shut the door, she fell to her knees right away. She remembers the moment he asked her to go on a date with Oniai-san. The thought of it made her blush. She got up and went to the stream to make it stronger. Nanashi shows up at Fuwari-chan's house late at night. She's still as big as ever when the door opens. Our son gets scared when he sees her because she doesn't look like someone going to get food. She looks like she wants to kill someone. She turns red all of a sudden and asks if it's really okay to be outside. She said, "Don't worry, because she'll gain some confidence after taking the first step." She starts to sweat because she is scared, but she decides she shouldn't back down since Nanashi is helping her. As they went outside, Fuwari-chan was very alert, as if she had done something wrong and the police were after her. Then she heard the bush next to her shaking, which scared her. She ran over to hug Nanishi, but it was just a stray cat. They are almost at the convenience store. But Fuwari-chan is freaking out even more because there is someone in front of it, and she knows she can't do it. People are her weak spot. She starts to cry and says she's sorry because Nanashi has helped her so much, and she still can't finish her goal. Our boy tells her they should go back now. It got confusing for her, and he tells her she has come a long way even though she said she couldn't because her room is up there. That she's come a long way, so they can take things slowly. He also tells her that he will be here for her until she gets over her fear. Those words gave her hope, so she grabbed his hand and told him she would try even harder and go beyond her limits. Then Nanashi realizes that even though she looks scary, her eyes are always kind, and she's doing her best to deal with her problems. He grabs her hand and tells her he'll be here for her to help her. As they walked into the store, they kept holding hands. When they got inside, Fuwari-chan went straight for the basket. Nanashi was shocked and asked her if she was going to buy that many things, so she doesn't have to go outside for a while. She tells him what needs to be done. Then, by chance, she hits the shelf and an item falls. But Nanashi's spider senses kick in and he catches it in the air. The fact that she's always making a mess made her feel terrible, and she went through her sad phase. Nanashi sees that there is no one at the cash register and that the guy is restocking items. He is about to call the guy, but Fuwari-chan grabs his arm and stops him. Our boy knew right away that she did what she did because she wanted to do it by herself. So he just stood next to her and watched as she tried to call the guy, but her voice was too soft. After 2 tries, she was done with talking to people, so she started coughing, which got his attention. Once they're done paying for their things, she starts to smile. After they got out, Nanashi told her she did a great job, even though the payment was made online and she didn't have to say a word. When she asked, "Did I really do a good job?" he replied. "Yes." She felt good when she saw his energy and smiled and said, "Thank you." Then the store worker ran out and said he was sorry he forgot to give his lady a spoon for her ice cream. He thanks him and then sees that they're still holding hands. He thought they were dating because they were holding hands. They let go of each other's hands right away, which made things very awkward. Nanashi suggests that they go their different ways now that she's finished her quest. He then thinks that he should know his role better from now on and not bother Fueri-chan because, in the end, he's just a delivery guy and she's a customer. When Fueri-chan found out that the guy had thought she was his girlfriend, she turned bright red.